Hello. Today I'm gonna crack. This is so hard to do with one hand. Crack a room temperature one open with the boys. Is this what battery acid tastes like? So, do y'all remember Big Hero 6? Of course you remember Big Hero 6. You know why? You know why I say that? At least from personal experience and from the people in my life, why do I look like... Am I okay? I look like a disaster. No one really remembers Big Hero 6 until somebody says Big Hero 6 and you're like, oh yeah, that was a good movie. I literally went up to somebody one time and I said, oh, and I just started talking about Big Hero 6 and then they said, oh yeah, that was a good DreamWorks film. Like, no, sisters, it was a Disney film. I blame Frozen. I blame everything on Frozen. Let's talk about the fact that Big Hero 6 was an underrated masterpiece. Characters. We have Hiro Hamada. He's some nerdy kid who graduated high school at the age of 13. I feel unaccomplished. And he really likes robotics. There's his older brother, Tadashi Hamada, who also likes robotics. He's a huge nerd and he goes to college. We got Go-Go, who is a college student who never completely got past their emo phase. We have Wasabi, who is kind of a neat freak and likes cutting stuff with fancy, sciencey, machiney thingies. These are dumb names. We got Honey Lemon, who really likes chemistry and the color pink. And we have Fred, who gave everyone those stupid names. And he's not a student, but he likes comic books, so he's clearly a scientific genius. We have Baymax, which is Tadashi's creation, and he's like a robot doctor thing. We got Alistair Cray, who really likes money. We got Robert Callahan, who's a fancy sciencey guy, and we got Yokai, who is our villain. Okay, the plot. So basically, it starts off with bot fighting. That's a thing in some hybrid Tokyo, San Tokyo. Bot fighting is a thing. Everyone's a nerd there, and that's apparently accepted. Why can't we live there? And apparently, it's illegal to bet on bot fighting, but Hiro, the 14-year-old kid, literally doesn't care and is like,
screw the police, I'm gonna do it anyway.
So he goes to this place with his little robot. It looks ridiculous. He loses the first round, and he's like,
well, I got like hundreds more dollars. Don't know how I got them, but I got them.
And the guy's like, fine. So then he wins the second round, and this guy's like, did this guy just... And then Tadashi comes to the rescue, because honestly, like, sibling goals? And they get caught, you know, Hiro and all the other people, and Tadashi, even though he was just helping his brother out, they all get put in jail for the night, and then Tadashi and Hiro's aunt comes. Apparently, I don't know what happened to her dad, but her mom's dead, so they're with her aunt. Hiro didn't learn his lesson, and he wants to go back to bot fighting, and Tadashi is like,
fine, I'll drive you.
But he takes a quick stop at his nerd school. That's when Hiro meets Go-Go. He nearly cuts himself in half when he meets Wasabi. These are such dumb names. Honey Lemon got pink everywhere, and he met Fred as well. And then he met Baymax, and he's like,
wow, you were impressive, brother.
He meets Callahan, Professor Callahan, the crazy, cool science dude, and Hiro's over here, like, fanboying over a science dude, because he's a nerd. Callahan's like,
well, you could study here, you know, you being a 14-year-old's fine. 14-year-olds can attend college.
Hiro's like, okay, but then he's like,
yo, Tadashi, I want to go to your nerd school.
Your nerd school. They go home. Tadashi's like,
yo, if you want to get into the nerd school, just create something cool.
Hiro's like,
okay.
And he can't think of anything. And then Tadashi, like, tries to send all the blood to his brain by turning it upside down or something. Hiro sees the robot and is like, sis, I'm already an inventor. Why didn't I just look to that for inspiration? So he makes these little things called microbots. You're like little, it's like little, it looks like the end of a pencil. It looks like graphite. but they're little robotic things, and he has like a fancy schmancy headband, and he made like millions of these things, and he does this cool presentation showing how he controls these little things with his mind, and then afterwards, Alistair Cray gets all up in his grill, and it's like,
yo kid, I'll pay you a ton of money if you give me your invention.
and Hero's like,
Sis, no.
Callahan is like,
I look forward to seeing you in class.
they leave, Hero and Tadashi are just reflecting, apparently Hero just had his pants unzipped the whole presentation. You hear a scream, and they turn around, and the building's on fire. Then they run over and are like, yo, why? Some random lady is like,
No, I'm fine. Everyone else is out except the fancy science student, Callahan. You remember him?
Tadashi is like,
Well, he's important. He can't just die.
so then Tadashi runs in, and then the building explodes, and Callahan and Tadashi die, and Hero's like... So again, Hero falls into a great depression, because he just lost his brother. And then he, stubs his toe, and Baymax gets all up in his grill.
Sis, you forgot about me. It's been weeks, and I haven't seen the light of day.
Hero's like,
Oh my god, this guy.
he finds the little microbot, the one survivor, in his pocket, and it's wigging out, and he's like,
This thing is broken.
and Baymax is like,
It wants to go somewhere.
and Hero's like,
Okay, why don't you follow it?
as a joke, and Baymax is like,
Okay.
and then he just leaves, and Hero is like,
It was a joke.
so then he chases Baymax to some old warehouse, which they break in through a window, cause that's safe. Come on now, healthcare robot. You see that somebody's making more of these microbots. There's a bajillion microbots at this point, and Hero is like,
Well, crap.
then some dude in a kabuki mask, his name's Yokai, I'm pretty sure they never said that in the movie, but that's a canon name for him, is Yokai. And he's like,
Yo, sir, I stole your creation. Now get out of here before I end you.
Hero's like,
That's not good.
so they get chased out of the building. Hero makes some fancy chip with karate and stuff, and he puts it in Baymax along with his healthcare chip. So it's you can help people, you can also destroy them, but that'll be important later. He makes some fancy 3D printed armor. The armor's absolute crap. They go out and they try to find Yokai. Some creepy, van is following them. Yokai just rises from the sea,
Yo, what up?
and Hero's like,
Baymax can take him.
and then Wasabi, Go-Go, Honey Lemon, Fred, those peeps show up in his car that's been chasing him around, and he's like,
You have to leave. There's this guy who's coming after me.
and Fred's saying something, and he looks up, and there's he's lifting a giant box to try to kill them all, and they're like, that's not good. They go back to Fred's fancy mansion because the stoner kid who loves comic books has a mansion, apparently. And there's this rad butler, his name's Heathcliff, and they're like,
Yo, the Hunger Games logo I saw it earlier, at somewhere.
but then Hero has a revelation. He's like,
Yo, we gotta become superheroes, and I will be super hero.
so they have some big montage, Baymax gets an actual suit that isn't utter crap. So a bunch of stuff goes on, and eventually they corner down this machine thing that they see video footage of Cray and Callahan sending his daughter into a teleporting thingy so that she can come out the other side. But you're not supposed to throw a human through a test thing that you only tested on a hat, so it fails, and Callahan is like,
Oh my god, my daughter be dead.
so, he's salty at Cray. Yokai appears, Hero tries to kill him with Baymax, and everyone else is like, yo, you need to chill. And he's like, screw you all! And so he goes home, he sees this heartwarming video of Tadashi, and they eventually unmask Yokai, and the biggest plot twist of the century, it's Callahan. Callahan's trying to destroy Cray, the guy who, killed his daughter unintentionally, trying to destroy his, fancy business, and then, the Big Hero 6, Baymax, Go-Go, Wasabi, Honey Lemon, and Hero and Fred show up, And you're like, yo, we can't be doing this. So then they like get part of this like weird machine from earlier, and they jump into it. Well, specifically Hiro and Baymax jump into it because gravity is failing us. And they jump into it, and they find the daughter that supposedly died. And, you know, the gate is closing. They're about to be trapped in this weird world forever. And, you know, the rocket thrusters that were kind of sending Baymax and Hiro back to the start break. And, Hiro's like, no. So there's this big emotional moment where, Baymax has to let go of the rocket hand just to sing him off. And, you know, Callahan ends up in jail because he broke so many laws. It cuts to some time later, and Hiro rebuilt Baymax. I think that's what happened. Let's talk about the voice acting. Whoever voiced Baymax did a great job, because I don't think anybody could say fa la 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 and say that with a straight face. So I think good job. The animation though? Like, okay, sure. Frozen rendered a few snowflakes, but like, do we even need to talk about why this is good animation? Like, pretty sure it's pretty self-explanatory. So that was Big Hero 6. It was pretty lit. Let's talk about it more and not just screech about Frozen. I'm a hypocrite. Stay derpy, stay murpy, stay hydrated.